The past couple of months, my wife has been complaining about our cats. She's been claiming that the cats wake her up constantly and that she's frustrated every night that she has to get up and open the door for the cats, or the cats keep making noises, or the cats keep jumping on her. It got to the point where she started saying she wants me to get rid of them. I told her I've never seen or heard any of this, but she claims I sleep through it all. She kept telling me she was getting less and less sleep and kept acting aggressive, blaming lack of sleep from the cats, and that if I didn't get rid of them, she'd leave me. I legitimately started considering giving the cats to my sister until I noticed something. One morning she claimed she had gotten up multiple times throughout the night to help the cats. She listed a bunch of times. I thought it was weird because I had been up until 4 a.m. and she claimed that she got up at 1 a.m. to open the door for them and a few times around 3 a.m. because they were meowing and jumping on her. I was in the bedroom the entire time while she slept and I know none of that happened. Things weren't adding up, so I decided to run a test. I waited until she said she was going to bed, then I let the cats out of our bedroom, lowered my phone brightness, and faked going to sleep. I just laid there in bed for the entire night, bored, but I definitely did not fall asleep. I made sure to make timestamps every 30 minutes on my phone through Discord just to be sure. I marked down every noise my cats made. One cat had jumped down from something and made a little sound at 3:18 a.m. and one ate food relatively quietly by the bedroom door at 4:57 a.m. Other than that, nothing happened. Sure enough, my wife slept from 11 p.m. until 9 a.m. and that morning she claimed she had woken up at least 7 times to open doors and from cat noises and cats jumping on her. At this point I was pissed because she was clearly lying to me. I was exhausted and fed up with the lies, so I just bluntly called her out on it. I told her, "That's funny. I stayed up all night to monitor the cats and they weren't even in the room at all last night. I have timestamps and everything. So you've been lying to me and trying to convince me to get rid of my cats. Why?" She just sat there quickly shaking and looking pissed, then got up and left without answering. She came back hours later and ignored me whenever I talked, and when I asked her how I'm the bad guy in the situation, she finally said that I was treating her like a child by lying about sleeping and staying up all night just to see if she was lying or not, and that making timestamps and everything as if I was an investigator was going too far and makes me an obsessive idiot. I did it because she was threatening to make me get rid of my cats or she'd leave me, and her claims didn't add up. So, am I an obsessive idiot? Not the idiot here. You live with a sociopath who got mad that you called out and proved her lying. You can tell a lot about a person's character by how they treat animals. That she'd stoop that low and react that way says it all. Do you really want to spend the rest of your life with someone who would do that? I'd be telling her to find other accommodations. There's no way I'd stay married to someone who would do that. She might have a legitimate complaint against being a cat owner. It might be that your cats are wonderful little fur babies, but not everyone likes cats. And that's okay, because not everyone has to like them. But she should have said that instead of lying. Also, did you get the cats after you two got married or something? Or were you and the cats a package deal? If you had the cats before you married her or even started dating her, then she is a major idiot. If you don't like cats but are dating a cat parent, you either learn to live with them or you find a new boyfriend. You don't marry the guy and then plot to get rid of the cats. She is mad she got caught. If you are worried about the next step, maybe suggest putting in a cat door to your bedroom. That way she won't have to worry about getting up for the cats, and it is a really simple solution. My wife and I have a cat door for the laundry room so the cats can get to the litter box without the baby having access to. It works great. Update. My wife has been Baker acted. She did not hurt herself, just said something concerning in public. I got a call from the hospital this morning asking me to head over for some family therapy. Apparently she finally wanted to talk. I'll be honest, I'm pretty pissed at the reason why she's been so hateful towards my cats. It's absolutely asinine. It's nothing that anyone had suggested. She's not cheating. She's not sick physically or mentally. She's not bored of the relationship and looking for an out. According to her, one of the cats stepped on her laptop and ruined a story she was writing. She's hated both cats ever since. I mean, it's shame, but it's not worth trying to emotionally blackmail me into getting rid of them. I asked her why she didn't just tell me the truth and why she'd been lying and refused to talk about it when I'd asked. Her answer was, because you wouldn't have gotten rid of them otherwise. And explained that when she saw I wasn't willing to abandon them for her, she took offense and made it a goal to have me pick her over them. Sickening. Don't know why she actually admitted to it all. The woman with us asked me how I felt about all of it, and I just told the truth. I told her it was a nice run, but I'm probably going to want a divorce. I was asked why, and I told them. I've seen a new hateful, malicious side of her that I want nothing to do with. She was so set on getting rid of the cats over a fanfiction being ruined that she manipulated her husband. My wife started shouting at me that I've betrayed her and that I'm scum for choosing animals over her. At least cats don't give ultimatums like she gave. It's shame that she's been Baker acted and all, I guess, but it's for the best right now. She'll have time to process it all in a safe environment and hopefully come to terms with it. Bad husband, I know. I'm almost sure I'm going for divorce. I'm very worried about having her in the same house as my cats. I want my cats safe. I don't want to worry about them being harmed or disappearing. Screw that. I guess I'll do what almost all of you suggested. Keep the cats, rehome the wife. Not how I wanted it to end, but life isn't always nice. If I may, I want to clear up some things from the original post. I did not stare at her all night. We have a mute TV with subtitles playing every night. I subtly watch TV while paying attention to the cat sounds. I'm not allowed to install cat doors and she won't let me keep the doors open. Apartment rules. Why did I instantly assume she was lying? I'm unfamiliar with mental health and diseases. I know about some diseases, but ones that make you think your dreams happened. Tumors that make you see, hear or remember non-existent things. Sorry that I wasn't aware of those possibilities. So when someone tells me events happened when they literally didn't, I generally assume they're lying. Shame on me. Final update. Well, she's gone for now. By that, I mean I kicked her out of the house. Why? Because she's been in the bedroom for hours now, watching YouTube, refusing to talk to me about what's happened. A few minutes ago, one of the cats started meowing and scratching to get into the room. Within seconds of him doing that, she ran over to the door and kicked it really hard and screamed, "This is all your fault. Back off." It scared the crap out of the cat and he hid under the couch. I opened the door and asked her what her deal was, that it could have hurt the cat, and she said good. I hate the cat. So, I told her to get out of the house and go find somewhere to stay for a while. She tried to cry her way out of the situation, but I told her I had enough. I'm done. She had every opportunity to talk to me, and now she's screaming at the cats and kicking doors and scaring them. I tried to listen and offered help, but she wanted none of it. Too late. As she was leaving, I told her she can call me when she's calmed down and willing to talk. I'm just so drained at this point. I tried. I gave her a chance to talk before all of this, and she insisted there was nothing to talk about. I may not have handled it the most mature and healthy way, sure, but I tried. Maybe this can be fixed, maybe not. I had hoped a few hours ago, now I just, whatever. I'm so sorry. I think I'm done replying for now. Just so much going on. So much to think about. Too many trollish comments and messages, too many people coming up with conspiracy theories, too many people who can't read or bother to check my comments. It's all so tiresome. Life is fun though. My wife and I both work demanding jobs. Sometimes my mom comes over to help with housework, and sometimes it's my mother-in-law. Since my mom has some back issues, she can't come around as much as my perfectly healthy mother-in-law, so sometimes most of the work falls on mother-in-law. My wife and I don't mind if none of them help us out with our housework, since we can balance it out on our own, but my mom and mother-in-law insist on helping us. A year ago my wife gave birth to our son. Since then my wife and I consult a pediatrician and have come up with a perfectly balanced diet for our son. My mother-in-law is not happy about it, and she tries to intervene on how we raise our kid and what we feed him. My wife always tells her to mind her business, but mother-in-law doesn't listen. My mother-in-law and mom take turns watching our son while wife and I are at work. Few days ago my wife had a day off of the week. I went home after work and my mother-in-law was there fighting with my wife. Basically she was accusing my wife of being lazy and not a proper housewife for not always cooking and cleaning for me. She was accusing my wife for being a bad mom, but didn't offer any reasons on why she thinks that. I got in between them and reminded my mother-in-law that my wife is not my maid and we share the housework since we're both working adults. Mother-in-law told me to stop trying to justify my wife and that she did a bad job raising her daughter because she's not a properly trained housewife. Then she started attacking me for not demanding my own mom to do more to help us out and only expecting help from her. I told her we're not expecting help from anyone and that she was insisting on helping us out, but nobody's forcing her, just like I won't force my own sick mother to do more than she's able to do. She kept yelling and woke up the baby and then accused us of waking up the kid. I ended up telling her to get out of our house, that she's no longer welcome here if she insults my wife, and we'll just take our son to her place a couple of times a week to see him. Out of spite, then she admitted she's been feeding our son stuff we don't want him to have in his diet, and she's doing it behind our back because we are stupid to listen to whatever our pediatrician says. Then I also told her, fine, she's also not allowed to be alone around our son anymore, and we'll be limiting contact. Several relatives of my wife told us we're being the idiot, especially me, since I'm acting ungrateful towards my mother-in-law who has always helped us. They say I should apologize to her if I don't want to be called the idiot. So, am I the idiot? Not the idiot. On the contrary, you did exactly the right thing. You stood up for your wife, and when it was revealed that mother-in-law was going against your pediatrician's advice and against your wishes as parents, you responded by informing her that she would no longer have unsupervised visits with your child. In your place, I would have cut her off completely. As for all the help she's given you, no one can use that as leverage, since it's not help you ask for or require. Don't let anyone tell you otherwise. You're spot on. If she wants to help, that fine, but it's none of her business how you raise your child, especially considering you're consulting professionals about the most healthy route to take with your kid. Also, parent or not, it's extremely rude to come into someone else's house and take down to them, so you were absolutely right in making her leave. You and your wife own your home, and you and your wife and ultimately responsible for your child, so anyone who doesn't like the ground rules you've set should leave. I think this boils down to a generation thing. Back in your mother-in-law and mom's days, women were just expected to do these kind of things on demand with no complaints, and I think they have a hard time adjusting to this shift. It's absolutely not acceptable what she has said to your wife and her behavior of feeding your child things specifically you did not want giving. This is just forcing her opinions on others. Me, 18, and boyfriend, 19, have been together for a year and are 6 months pregnant. We are both stubborn and headstrong, and when something gets into our heads, it's very difficult to change our minds, and he is also very quick to anger, which as you can imagine can lead to arguments. When he found out I was pregnant, he told me it was either him or the baby, and I chose to keep my baby, even if it meant losing him. He stayed with me anyway, but hasn't went to any midwife appointments and missed one of the scans because he didn't want to go out for lunch with me and my mum after, even though him and my mum have had no past issues, and he has actually said he is grateful for all my mum has done for us. He also occasionally makes comments about how he has no choice but to be with me and that I'm trapping him by having our baby, even though I have and still am giving him the option to leave. He has also made accusations the baby isn't his, even though he knows for a fact I have never cheated on him and never would. As far back as I remember, I have always wanted to name my first boy Jack after my mum, whose name is Jacqueline, who has been an amazing mother and almost died giving birth to me, resulting in her not being able to have any more kids. And last month we found out we are having a boy, and my boyfriend has said anything but Jack, even though he knows how much the name means to me. He has given no reason other than it's a popular name and hasn't given any other suggestions. He won't even have a conversation about baby names. The baby will have his surname, and the middle name will be named after his father, which I think is fair. Also, considering I'm carrying him for 9 months, giving birth to him, being his primary caretaker, and after being threatened with being left due to the pregnancy, am I the idiot for ignoring his objections and naming my baby Jack anyway? Not the idiot. You need to break up with him. Let him choose if he wants a relationship with your baby, visitation, joint custody. Whatever works for you two. In regards to the name. Why is he getting your boyfriend's last name? And his dad's name? He's making no effort with this baby that you clearly already care about. Give him your last name. Let him pick the middle name, but let your baby be called Jack. It's a really cute name. If he really wants another name, he can start a discussion like an adult. Till then it's Jack, because you've thought about it. Jack is a beautiful name with very special meaning behind it. You offered him the door and he didn't take it, so I think it's time for you to leave and find someone who treats you and baby Jack the way you both deserve. And please do not give Jack his last name. He's threatened, tried to deny that he's his, and has not been involved. Please don't complicate things by giving him his last name just because he's the donor. Baby Jack has a very loving mother and grandmother and should have their last name. He has shown that he has no value as a partner in this relationship. Reading this post, it was hard to miss all the red flags he's giving off. Do not give the baby his surname. If you ever marry him, then you can think about changing both your names, but I highly doubt that will ever happen. He clearly doesn't want this baby. Even if he sticks around, do you really want to have your son exposed to a father that resents him for existing? I'd recommend dumping him. Let him be involved the baby if he wants, but you're certainly not trapping him. I, 25, updated my status yesterday with Savannah has been extra swampy lately. A few hours after I posted, a friend I want to college with commented, "Really? This is really immature. Stop openly bullying people like this. If you are having issues with the hygiene of someone, talk to them in private or better yet mind your own business." I replied, "I live in Savannah, Georgia. Which is a literal swamp. This is a good example of why people should think before they post or comment." An hour later I get a call from her telling me I was rude and my moment was mean as she felt it was meant to embarrass her. She said I should have replied to her comment in private. I told her that she was the one who commented publicly on my status and that if she didn't want to be called out she shouldn't have made such a ridiculous comment. She said I needed to delete my whole post. I told her no, she can delete her own comment if she wants, but I wouldn't be deleting the post or my comment. Am I the idiot? Edit, just realized I mistyped. My Facebook post said, "Savannah has been smelling extra swampy lately." To add, the friend who commented is not named Savannah. I'm assuming she assumed I was talking about a coworker or someone I know or met since after graduating. Not the idiot. She wanted catty internet drama and clout for calling you out on problematic behavior, and she got catty internet drama and negative clout for calling you out on problematic behavior. She doesn't need to worry. I have no doubt the other misguided souls she meant to pander to would applaud her efforts anyway. Reality is only an auxiliary concern for them. The most important part is that she acted on her feelings and started drama that would entertain them for a few moments. Your friend seems to be a classic example of one who's so wrapped up in themselves, they believe everything posted is about them. Their belief they can accuse you of something publicly, yet get offended by your public response, is quite telling of her seeking out victimhood. There's a great saying out there that fits her mentality of seeking to be offended and goes something like, "Actually, my post wasn't about you, but if the shoe fits then feel free to lace it up, wear it." All she had to do was have a good laugh at herself and reply, "Oh my god, I'm an idiot, so sorry," and then this would be something you'd both joke about from time to time. Instead, she decided to take herself way too seriously and double down. That's her fault. My favorite part was that she commented publicly with the intention to shame you because she thought you were publicly shaming someone else. Then proceeds to be hurt that you would publicly call her out even though she literally did the same thing.